Yes, here I am doing yet another Talon installation. I really debated not turning the camera on and bothering with this. I've only done a couple of Talon installations that I didn't record. One of the ones I did recently was the Glock 41. I did not film that. It's like my best installation ever. It came out perfect. Maybe it's because I wasn't distracting myself with the camera. But anyway. Okay. I'm actually in a little bit of a hurry, or a little bit excited to get this grip on, because I really want to use this as a match gun. Now, get everything lined up. I always like to do a dry fit, especially when you have a lot of cutouts and cut-arounds, as we do here. You can see around the PPQ lettering at the bottom of the grip. We have a cutout. We have a cutout around the teardrop at the magazine release. And we're going to want to make sure that that all fits really nice. I always try to find one spot that I kind of call the anchor area, or the control area, where you want to make sure it's about as perfect as you can get. And when you have a cutout around lettering or something, that kind of automatically becomes that. So here at the PPQ, we're going to want to line that up really good, but we also want to be really well lined up here. I'm going to go ahead and start. You can try not to waste a whole lot of time here on this one. If I can get this adhesive back peeled off. There we go. Alright, I'm going to start with just this piece exposed and see if we can get this guy lined up. Okay, decent. There, I like him nice and straight along the bottom edge also. Then I want to try and get good placement around that teardrop, and that's the other important cutout. A lot of this has to do with just aesthetics. It won't really impact the function. It just won't look as good if it's not right. That looks pretty decent. If you are not familiar with the PPQ, there's a multitude of textures here. You have palm swells, there's contours here. So it's not a straight or even type of surface. I'm sure that makes it challenging for the folks at Talon to make a template that takes that 3D shape into consideration. Now, our challenge will be to wrap that guy around and fit it nicely, and it looks like it's going to fit pretty nicely, and I can stretch it as I do that. Get that over there around this lettering. So next I'm going to take off the backstrap portion. Another thing about the PPQ, like a lot of modern pistols today, it has multiple backstraps. available that come with the pistol, and you can replace the one that's on it when you get it from the factory, as I did. It comes with the medium installed. I replaced that with the small. Okay, we're looking decent here. Got that just sort of tacked down. And this is going to need some work, I can tell already. There's a lot of ridges in this one compared to a lot of them. This had to be a real challenge for the Talon people, because this grip has got all kinds of bumps and curves and jut outs, and this ain't no Glock grip, that's for sure. They tend to be pretty square. Okay, now let's see. We have exposed all of our adhesive here. Try and bring this guy down a little bit. Now, while you're working with the Talon grip initially, you can peel it up and readjust it. That's not unlimited though, because you're going to eventually start to take a toll on the adhesive the more you do that. So you want to try and get it as right as possible the first time. But it is good to know you can lift it and reposition it. And I almost always do that to some degree. Alright, now, if these go like I'm accustomed to on other pistols, they will wrap around and go underneath. So some people overlap the finger pieces. There's kind of two schools of thought. Some people will overlap them with the finger piece over the top, just lapped over the left-hand grip panel. I, on the other hand, subscribe to the school of tuck them underneath. Alright, now I've got it stuck on. I've got my finger tabs tucked under. My lettering looks pretty well lined up. My teardrops look well lined up. I'm happy with that. The back strap is a little odd right now, but the next step, and the most important step, should help take care of that. And that is apply heat with a hairdryer. Okay. You want to apply that heat pretty liberally. By the way, just in case you weren't sure who I am. You want to get the grip good and warm, almost hot if you can. You don't want to get it so hot you can't stand to touch it, but you want it really, really warm, very pliable and malleable, which is a cool word for this. And then you smush it. Just do a lot of pressing. Just press it down really good. You want to get that adhesive And in this case, this is the rubberized as opposed to the granulate. But in both cases, you want to get that material down into the natural grip texture as much as possible. So I just squeeze it and smush it, work it around. Pay really close attention to any seam areas or edge areas. Make sure you get those down really good, nice and flat and smooth, because obviously those are the first places that are going to want to peel. Where you've tucked in the finger tabs, either under or over, you want to pay good attention there and smush those down really well. Better to take the extra 5 minutes now and give it a nice long life. Properly installed, and by properly, really I mean, you know, this is probably the most important part. The next most important part, and some people might easily argue that the most important part, is cleaning it. So you saw me use the alcohol wipe that is provided with the grips. You want to make sure your hands are clean. I mean, at least oil and grease free, and you want to get the grip panel, that substrate, good and clean, because in the world of adhesives, that is everything. Okay. All right, heat it up again. Okay. Nice and warm. It's about hot. That's what you want. You want it just hot. I mean, hot enough that it's a little discomforting to touch. You want it that hot. You want to really get it down in there. And I'm being careful not to rub. You're just pressing down. That's why I use the word smush, because you're really just pressing straight down. It's a lot of thumb and forefinger work. I'm just squeezing the grip down into the pistol's grip panel. If you see any areas where you've got bubbles or any kind of air, you want to work those out. You want to work it down into the texture. Again, it's not, you can see, I think, a little bit right there, see? You see those palm swells? You want it, that's how you want it. You want it to really go down into that texture. That's what's going to give it a good long life, and it's also going to give you the most comfortable and effective grip, because it really just becomes a tight skin right on the pistol's grip. That's the idea. Okay. Alright, there we have it. Let's put this thing together and make it look like a pistol. There we are, folks. Walther PPQ M2 5-inch competition gun, now equipped with a Talon rubberized grip. It is ready to go. So, that was my very first Walther PPQ installation. First any kind of Walther PPQ, or otherwise. My very first Walther installation of a Talon grip. A little more complex than some of the more straightforward ones, but still very easy. You saw me do it. I'm an idiot, so if I can do it, you can do it.